Hello you guys, welcome back to Vlogmas Day 2. Today we're doing a worth the purchase video, and today we are talking about all 74 products, all 74 makeup products, not including palettes, that I purchased in 2022. Earlier this year I did a worth the purchase for all the palettes that I purchased in 2022, which I believe was 36 or 38 palettes. So I'll hopefully editing Steph will leave that link below. Who knows if she actually will. Sometimes she's really lazy when she edits / does description boxes. But today I have a wow, that was aggressive. Today I have a basket full of products. These are all the products still in my collection that I purchased in 2022. I do also have products that I finished off in 2022 and products that I've decluttered. But today we're going to be talking about every single makeup product, with the exception of eyeshadow palettes, that I purchased in 2022, what I've used up, what I've decluttered, what I still have in my collection, what I think was worth the purchase. That is what we are talking about today. So if you're interested, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project planning content or just chit-chatting about makeup or anything else, football, we like football over here. I'd like to talk more about football if possible. Chat with me about football in the comments below if you're a football fan. Anyway, if you are interested in any of those things, I hope you'll consider subscribing before moving on. I will be posting at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time every single day throughout the month of December. And I posted every single day in November. So if you're interested, I've got lots of content over here. I hope you consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. Okay, you guys, I do have color guard on. I'm going to be on hopefully the best trip of life the time that you are seeing this video. So I'm trying to self-tan because nobody needs to be seeing transparent stuff. So I do have color guard on. My hands look absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous, but we're just gonna ignore it. Okay, before we get into the bin of products that I purchased last year, we're first going to get into all of the products that I either finished up or decluttered last year, and we're going to talk a little bit of stats, percentages. We like a little bit of easy math over here. When I added everything up, I only got to 74 products, but if you look at my makeup rehab last year, it looks like I purchased 84 products. I'm wondering if, I bet part of it came from, I had a couple of sets of 3 lip glosses. That's probably what it came from. So maybe 84 total products, but I counted it as 74 because that's the total number of products I was able to count up. But there are 2 Kosas sets of 3 lip glosses that I purchased and some products missing. We're going with the 74 number was the total number of products that I purchased last year. I do know I purchased a couple of things that were like a set. So for example, I purchased 2 Kopari trios, Kopari Lip Glossy trios, which would be technically counted in today's stats 1 product, but I technically brought 3 lip glossies in each time I purchased those 1 product. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I hope so. 74 products. 9 of the products that I purchased in 2022, I have already used up. So let's talk about those first. And by the way, 9 divided by 74. Your girl did some math over here. I love me some statistics. Did I fail my accounting class twice before passing? Yes. Did the third time that I took accounting, did I possibly take advantage of a man to pass the class? Not the professor, but someone I went to high school with was taking the class with me, and we may have taken advantage of him for some help. I'm not an accountant, so it's okay. It's okay. We have used up 9 out of the 74 products that I purchased last year, which accounts for 12% of the products that I had purchased in 2022. I have used up. So those products include the Smashbox 24-Hour Shadow Primer, which I did enjoy, but it wasn't something so earth-shatteringly good that I had to go out and repurchase it. So I used that up. I also finally this year finished up the Kosas Skin Improving Foundation. Not something I personally would repurchase. It just wasn't like the perfect foundation for me. All right, I also purchased the NYX Epic Brow, which I did finish, and I actually have gone on to repurchase the Epic Brow in the tinted version, and I will likely finish that before the end of the year as well. So I do really enjoy the NYX Epic Brow. I also finished up the Benefit Super Setter Spray. That is something that I definitely would purchase again, but I would like to purchase it during Ulta 21 Days of Beauty when I could get it on a sale. I got it on a sale last year. Would love to get it on a sale again. I finished up the Stila Kitten Kaleidoscope. I don't think it was Kitten Kaleidoscope. I think it was the Wanderlust Stila Glitter and Glow. I did recently finish that off, and I'm so happy because when I purchased that last year, I was like, girl, you shouldn't be buying this, so you better finish it. And I did. I also purchased the L'Oreal Glow Eden lipstick in, I'm forgetting the shade right now, but I finished that as well. My washer helped a little bit with like the last little remnants of that lipstick, but for the most part I finished that all on my own, and I would definitely purchase that again. I feel like it's a really comfortable satin sheen sort of lipstick formula. Definitely not a matte formula, so if you like a matte you won't like this, but I loved that. I do want to purchase that again, as well as, do they still make L'Oreal Batis Beige? Okay, the Revolution Beauty Super Dewy Liquid Blush I did not finish. I actually decluttered that. Okay, the REM Lip Oil, I'm pretty sure I finished that this year. I don't think I decluttered that, but that was a terrible lip oil. Honestly, Ariana Grande, I'm not a huge Ariana Grande fan, so if you're a stan, I'm sorry, but that was not a good lip oil. Literally dried my lips out more than it actually helped. Was the thinnest lip oil formula. One of the worst products I tried last year, but I forced myself to finish that. And then the doe foot had that stupid silver ball on it. Like, okay, I get you're trying to be innovative, but like, no thank you. Not a good product, but I forced myself to finish that. And then I also finished up the Makeup Revolution Hydrate and Fix Spray. I do kind of want to purchase that again, just because I like water on my face. I like to mist the face. Maybe I should just literally purchase one of those like garden sprayers, or like one of the sprayers you can get in like the, it's probably not the dollar section anymore at Target. It's probably like the $3 or $4 or $5 section, but just like an actual like spray bottle of like, and just fill it with water to mist my face, because I like to mist so much. But I did finish that off. So of the 74 products that I purchased last year, I actually finished off 8 of them, which equates for less than 12%. That's okay. That's okay. Moving on to the products that I have decluttered. We've got 14 out of 74 products, which accounts for over 17%. I had 13 out of 74, and then I realized that I actually decluttered the Makeup Revolution Super Dewy Blush. So it went from 13 to 14, so we're over 17.6% for decluttered products. But we have the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Perfecting Powder. Okay, I haven't like officially decluttered this on my channel, but I am decluttering this product because I recently pulled this out. Everybody talks about this being a dupe to the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Filter, which I do agree it has been in the past. But recently when I've used the Flower Beauty powder, it literally, the pilling that I get from this specific powder alone, and I know it's this powder because I was testing products out, used this powder, and like got this really weird like pilling throughout the day, and I was like, that's super weird. So I tried those products, like the foundation. It was specifically the Sephora Airbrush foundation. Tried it with another powder, worked just fine. Then I used the Flower Beauty powder with other products at least 7 times, and every time I used that Flower Beauty powder, like I would touch my face and I would feel balls of powdery pills coming off on my face, and I was like, what is going on? So I was finally like, I'm done with this powder. I'm done with it. I'm not dealing with this anymore. There's so many other better powders out there. I used to love the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Perfecting Powder, but I'm not gonna purchase that again. I don't know if mine's just gotten old and that's why. Don't care to purchase it again. I'd rather spend $45 on a Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush powder, personally. Decluttering that, I haven't officially decluttered it on my channel. I may have already gotten rid of it though. Like, I think I actually like threw it in the trash one day because I was so mad. Flower Beauty Blush Balm, I think in the shade Nectar. I'm so annoyed with myself. I purchased that, barely used it, and then I was like, I don't need this anymore. I did end up passing it along to my sister, who is more fair than me, even when I am like not so tan. Like, my daughter and I, as well as my sister, will look at pictures of her I remember, okay, so we went to Okoboji, Iowa 2 years ago and this year, but last year we went to Okoboji and like there's this adorable picture of her and my daughter, and I remember looking at her legs and I was like, I knew you were pale, Hannah. And Hannah, if you're watching this, you know this comes from an absolute place of absolute love. I was like, I know you're pale, but like I didn't realize like just how absolutely pale you were. My sister also was that person. My mom loves the beach, so we went to the beach at least once every year, like Ocean Beach, and then we also went like up north beach, so twice a year, I guess. Growing up, my sister would literally be that person under like the big umbrella, and then she would have like, I'm not kidding, and Hannah, if you're watching, please comment and let the viewers know this is not made up. She would literally put towels all over her body, like basically a blanket covering herself. And now my daughter's like that. And I'm like, I love the sun so much, but also I don't want skin cancer. Where even were we? We've gone on a 17-minute tangent. I gave my sister the Flower Beauty Blush Bomb, and it works really well for her transparent skin, I hope. Hannah, can you confirm or deny? The Milk Makeup Bionic Bronzer, purchased this, ended up decluttering it. I will say a lot of my makeup declutters I haven't taken the time to like list on Mercari, so it usually ends up in a really large plastic bin I bring home to my mom's, and then it's literally just sitting there in a bin in her bathroom. So every time I go home, I like look at the products and I'm like, So the Milk Makeup Bionic Bronzer, I'm like considering possibly bringing back up for next summer because I loved the Tower 28 bronzer all over the chest and neck with a highlight. I feel like it made me look like a bronzed siren, and by siren I mean mermaid. I feel like I looked so good this past summer doing that, so I'm like, do I want to try that again with the Milk Bionic Bronzer? Because I'm not going to use it as an actual like bronzer on my face, but we might try it that way. This might come back into the collection. Okay, the Rare Beauty Positive Light Tint Moisturizer, I just was not a fan. I felt like it was really yellow toned. It was really sheer and it just didn't work for me. Also, the Saie Concealer, just too hydrating underneath the eyes, made me look like I was 85 years old, possibly older. Like I was like losing at the bingo hall and had a really late night at the bingo hall. So like my eyes were just really creasy, really cakey, really heavy underneath the eyes. Just not beautiful. Just not a good sight. Okay, then we have the About Face blush. I don't know if it was the formula or the shade. I think it was maybe a mixture of both. I would possibly be interested in trying again with a different shade. It was like a cream to powder formula, but I did not love the shade that I had. I love Halsey. She's the person who's like gotten me through some of the toughest moments of my life. I love her music so much, and even though I'm not like a huge fan of her blush formula, like her as a person, she is iconic in my opinion. I love Halsey so much. The Florence Lip Oil, first of all, that feels like it was years ago that I used the Florence Lip Oil, but that was one of the worst lip oils I've ever tried in my life. It was tinted. It literally, I could have healthy lips, which is extremely rare. Healthy lips, put this lip oil on, and it would literally suck every freaking drop of moisture out of my lips, and then it would like cause like dry flakiness on my lips, but in butthole form. It was the most unattractive situation I think I've ever experienced in life. So that was a declutter. The Maybelline Green Edition Tinted Oil just wasn't a favorite of mine. I shouldn't have ever purchased that, but I thought that I was going to be like a review channel on YouTube, like literally coming out with every review of life and doing like drugstore dupes, which I just have realized over time that I'm just not a drugstore girly. Occasionally I'll buy a thing or two at the drugstore, but I just prefer high-end. That's why I need to find me a sugar daddy so he can buy me all the high-end makeup. Then we have the NYX Shine It Loud Liquid Lipstick. Was not a fan. Just not a fan at all. Decluttered that. Makeup Revolution Cream Bronzer. Wasn't a fan of. Just maybe it might have been the shade, because I feel like a lot of people have talked really highly about this bronzer. It did not personally work for me, and even if it was a shade thing, I have so many other bronzers / cream bronzers in my collection. I don't need to go purchase another to like find out for sure. I have the NYX Thick It Stick It eyebrow, like tinted eyebrow gel. This was just not a good product for me personally. I felt like the wand was too thick. And I never, ever am gonna complain about something being too thick. Unless it's an eyebrow thing. I like a thick stick. Not that. Okay, Makeup by Mario foundation. Didn't realize that I purchased this last year. I'm going to be talking about that in my worst products of 2023 that I tried, because I didn't try it until this year. Not a good product. Same with the NYX foundation. I forget what it's called. For some reason I have it saved as the blue foundation. It wasn't a blue foundation. I'll post it right here. And then the Revolution Beauty Super Dewy Liquid Blush. I also decluttered it. It wasn't bad, but I just like wasn't going to use it. It was not an expensive product, which is why I should stop buying drugstore, because I find drugstore so easy to declutter. If I'm not like head over heels in love with it, I will declutter it, just because it didn't cost me that much money to buy. So those are the 14 products that I decluttered, and now we are on to the 52 products that I purchased last year that I still have in my collection, accounting for 70.2% of the products that I purchased last year I still have in my collection, and we're about to go through all of them and my thoughts on them. Okay, should we start with, we can start with primers. I have not had luck with primers for the most part the last couple of years, because I'm thinking of some primers I purchased this year that were not good. The only primer I purchased last year that I like, okay, I don't know if you would consider this a primer. This is from Versed. It's their Mood Lighting Glow Drops. This is basically like a Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, an e.l.f. Halo Glow sort of situation. I purchased these because I thought I was gonna do a video about like this versus that, something like that. Like, should you buy these, or like, are this a good dupe? But like, that's just not me. That's not my channel currently, or last year, maybe in the future, I don't know. But I did buy the Versed Mood Lighting Drops. It wasn't snowing, and now it's like snowing. These are really beautiful. I do really like these. It's just not a product that I'm reaching for on an everyday basis. So if you are someone who really likes a glowy base, a glowy primer, a glowy product to mix into products, I think the Versed is a great option. You can get it at Target, and I think it's under 20 bucks, but did I need these? No. Would my life be okay without these? Yes. But will I keep those in my collection because like they're fine? Also yes. Okay. Then I also purchased the NYX Plump It Right Back with electrolytes mix. This is the plumping serum. This is the plumping serum and primer. I actually do really like this. This is really nice because it does feel hydrating and nourishing on the skin, but it's not something that's super heavy. So I feel like it sets into my skin right away, feels hydrating, but then I can go right in with my products. So I've used about, I'm gonna say a third of this. And this is something that I do anticipate will be an empty by the end of 2024. I like this. This is something I would consider purchasing again. NYX can get up there with its prices though. I believe this was $17. And I will say I also just have preferred this year, like a gripping primer is my preference. I also want to purchase the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer for my like one and only smoothing primer. So do I absolutely need this in my collection? Probably not. But I'm not saying I won't ever purchase it again, because I do really like this, especially if you were someone, I think this would work for both dry as well as oily skin because it is so lightweight. If you are someone who likes a hydrating primer that's not heavy, I think you would really enjoy that. And then the other two primers that I purchased last year were both busts. I personally wouldn't recommend either of these. So y'all know I've been a Nabla girly, love Nabla, want to work with Nabla, want everything from Nabla, but wasn't a huge fan of the Nabla Radiant Plumping Serum Primer. This is really glowy, kind of gold, really heavy, kind of sticky, but not in like a tacky, gripping sort of way, just like in a heavy, sticky, annoying sort of way. Just was not a fan of this at all. I was so excited for this, but it just feels heavy and just like kind of icky on the skin. It feels like the sticky film over the skin. Not a fan of that. And then I also purchased this one from Refi. This is the face primer, the Glow Sculpt face primer. And I know that this, I believe at least, is all the rage on TikTok. I personally don't really go on TikTok, but it has this really interesting rolly applicator, which I always forget about. And for some reason, I always... I just definitely lost some primer. I always twist it off, forgetting it's like this rolly situation. because of the rolly on situation, it's hard to control the amount of product that you're getting out of this. I actually use this as my primer today. It's nice, it feels really nice on the skin. I don't like the applicator, and I don't think that this is worth the either $34 or $39 that it is. I am confused as to why it's hyped on TikTok, except for the fact that like maybe because you roll it on your face, people are like, ah, it's so great. It's nothing special. You cannot control the amount of product that you get because you're rolling it on your face. And the way that you're rolling it on your face, you're not preventing wrinkles, you're not smoothing out lines because of this rolly. There's better primers out there. So personally for me, not worth the purchase. So out of the primers, I would say 3 not worth it. This one, like, it's again fine, but like I didn't need it in my collection, so I'm gonna say 3 of the primers that I purchased not worth it. I do think that the NYX was worth it. I just don't know that I would purchase again. For powders, I believe I only purchased 1 powder last year. At least that's still in my collection, and it was also from Nabla. I do think this was worth the purchase. It's the Baking and Set powder. It is a loose powder, which loose powder is definitely not my preference these days, but I do really like this for underneath the eyes. I will say I have really fallen in love with the Givenchy Prism Libre under eye loose setting powder, and so going forward, I likely would just opt for that over this, but this is not a bad product. It's not something I personally would use to set all over my face, but I do really like it underneath the eyes. I feel like it sets really nicely, it blurs, and it's not too heavy, so I think this is worth the purchase. What next? Foundations. 1, 2, 3, 4, only 6. I was expecting more. Oh, this probably could have gone in the primer category, I guess, or highlighter. It's from e.l.f. It's the Halo Glow liquid filter. I purchased this because I was curious and wanted to do a video on whether or not this was a dupe to the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter. Go figure. I didn't post a video like that, as is to be expected, because I always feel like I'm going to do these videos and then I don't. I think this is really nice. I think it is definitely comparable to the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter. Do I think I would? I don't honestly know if I finish this as well as the Hollywood Flawless filter, as well as I have my Auric Glowless. I just don't know if I don't know if I would purchase. I don't know what, if any of those, I would purchase again. I like the Hollywood Flawless filter, but I go in phases, and I don't necessarily feel like it's an absolutely necessary step to my makeup routine. I used it a lot last year as an all-over face product. This year was more as a highlighter, so I guess it just depends on where I was at, but like, was this worth the purchase? If you have been eyeing the Charlotte Tilbury, but it's too expensive, or you want something more budget friendly, I definitely think this is worth the purchase. But if you're just purchasing this to like see if it's a dupe, I don't think you need both by any means. Like, if you have the Charlotte Tilbury or if you have the Auric Glowless, you don't need that. What are my favorite? Okay, let's talk about my 3 favorites first. L'Oreal True Match Nude. I really liked this in 2021, I believe. And my shade, I had a shade that was way too deep for me, so I was often mixing it with a lighter shade. So I just kind of wanted this in my shade. If I didn't say, it's the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. I think this is really nice. I still really enjoy this. It is, I think, 20 bucks. It's like, it's $19.99 unless you can get it on sale. Personally, I would probably purchase the L'Oreal True Match L'Oreal True Match, what is it? Just the True Match over the True Match Nude Tinted Serum. I think this is better, offers more coverage, is really beautiful. I just really enjoy this though in the summertime, so I think this was worth the purchase for me. Also, the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. I purchased this, I think, for like a drugstore dupes video, and I actually ended up falling in love with this. Thank goodness, because I didn't do a drugstore dupes video. But I think this is a really beautiful medium coverage foundation that you can get for literally $6 at Target. So I think that's worth the purchase. And then I also purchased the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation last year. I have about half mine left, but I will say I think I lost my cap, but also even with the cap, when I stored this on its side, it would leak out the ends. I really enjoyed this last year and the beginning of this year. I will say I like my Guerlain Healthy Glow foundation, my Lancome foundation, as well as my Dior foundation more than this. So I'll have no problem finishing this up. And for that reason, I think it's worth the purchase, especially to just try a new foundation. But I don't see myself repurchasing this in the future. And then I purchased the IT Cosmetics CC Nude Glow last year. I think this is pretty, but it's just more full coverage than maybe I need to try just like trying the lightest amount with this, but as of right now, I just don't necessarily see myself repurchasing this. I do like that it has SPF 40, and I wanted to try it because I used to be a huge fan of the original IT Cosmetics CC, and then I was a huge fan of the Radiant version in the pink bottle, so I wanted to try this. Not a tip-top fave, so I didn't necessarily need that. It's not the worst thing ever either. I also purchased the Makeup Forever HD Skin foundation, the new one, like new to last year. I won't say this wasn't worth the purchase. I do like this for work days because it is really long wearing, but it's not something that I'll repurchase when I finish. I have a lot of foundations in my collection, so I probably didn't need to buy this. It's definitely more mattifying than I typically would go for, but again, it does last all day at work, so worth the purchase? I don't know. And then I also purchased the Chanel Le Beige Tint Healthy Glow foundation, and I've been on a journey with this foundation. I'm about halfway through this. I almost decluttered this, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna keep this around. I will say on its own, I don't absolutely love this foundation. I definitely won't repurchase this foundation. I wish like if I didn't purchase this foundation, I don't think I would have been missing anything in my life. Now I just use it because it's so light. I use it to mix with every foundation that's a little bit too dark for me. I definitely am interested in trying the Chanel foundation that has like the balls that break up on your skin. I thought this would be a really beautiful, just long wear glow foundation, but if you're looking for a foundation that's healthy glow, I'd recommend the Guerlain over the Chanel. Okay, did I purchase any bronzers last year? Did I purchase? No. Did I purchase no bronzers last year? I purchased the Milk Bionic bronzer, which I decluttered. Okay, maybe. That's so rare for me to not purchase a lot of bronzers. Okay, let's talk about blush then, which I actually would have thought that I purchased more blush last year, but I think I only have 5, which is crazy. So I feel like my blush collection is out of control, and then it was the year of the blush this year as well as last year, I feel like, but I haven't been as into blush. Anyway, last year I purchased the Huda Beauty Cheeky Tint Blush in Coral Cutie. I think this was worth the purchase. I think it's a really beautiful sheer glowy blush. I don't think it's gonna work with like a full beat, but if you're doing just a tinted moisturizer or no tinted moisturizer, maybe just concealer brows, I think this is so beautiful. I really like this shade because it offers a really beautiful sun-kissed look, and usually I'm wearing this in the spring summer, so I do think that was worth the purchase. I also tried the Saie Dewy Blush for the first time last year. I also think this is worth the purchase. I now have 2 minis and 2 full sizes of this blush in my collection. I really love this, especially if you like a glowier cheek. This is more pigmented, so I usually put it on my hand first and then go onto my cheeks, but I think it's a beautiful formula. I love that one. I also purchased the REM Cheek and Lip Tint in the shade Stage Mom. I didn't need to purchase this. I don't think this was worth the purchase. My makeup collection wouldn't miss this. It's fine. It's like this nude shade, and maybe I just need to pull this into a project to get more use out of it, but I feel like I purchased this thinking I needed to be really into REM Beauty or try everything from REM Beauty, and it's just like I've never been an Ariana Grande fan, and so like if something isn't calling to me, like I don't need to purchase from the brand. I do really like a highlighter that I purchased from the brand, which we'll get into in a little bit. And then the other 2 blushes that I purchased both in the shade Bubble. I have the Powder Bubble Persona blush as well as the cream. I definitely didn't need both. I prefer the powder, but I think the cream has a good formula. So pending which you prefer, powder or cream for your blush formula, I love the Persona blush formula because it's not totally matte. I feel like it offers this really beautiful satin sheen to the cheeks, which is something I personally really prefer, and I like this because it is a cool toned option. It looks really pigmented in the pan. Maybe not with my lighting right now, but it does truly look so bright, vibrant pink in the pan, but it definitely sheers out on the cheeks, and it's so beautiful. Same thing with the cream blush. It looks really pigmented right off the bat, but you really can sheer this out. It's a really beautiful, cool toned, kind of like blue pink sort of shade, and I think it's so pretty, but I just reach for powder blushes more frequently than creams, so I should have picked one in terms of like worth the purchase. My camera battery is about to die, so I'm gonna swap that out quick. Okay, if I moved slightly, you know why. Okay, highlighters. I purchased only 2 last year, it looks like, and I really enjoyed both of these. So I have from Laura Mercier, I have the shade Rose Glow, which is this really beautiful, more subtle pink highlighter, which I've been preferring a more subtle highlight. So I think this is absolutely beautiful because I do love a pink highlight. This was absolutely worth the purchase for me, but again, I like a subtle pink highlight, and this is pure perfection if that is what you're looking for. I also have the shade Miss Mercury from REM Beauty, and for a subtle, more champagne tone highlight, I also think this is beautiful. I could not stop reaching for this when I purchased this, and I think this is a really beautiful product. Definitely my favorite that I've tried from REM Beauty. So if you like a subtle highlight, I highly recommend checking out the highlights from REM Beauty. And then I just realized that I had set stuff aside, and I definitely missed some purchases from last year. So I definitely did purchase some bronzers last year. I do have one other highlight I purchased last year. It is a cream highlight from Rose Inc. I purchased mine in the shade Opalescent. I think this is a really beautiful highlight. My only gripe with this is, I think because Rose Beauty is a clean, or sorry, Rose Inc. is a clean beauty brand, it definitely does go bad or dry out more quickly. Every time that I use this highlight, I do feel like I'm having to warm the product up on my hands, but I think this is such a beautiful like pink champagne highlight, and whether it is on the skin or if I'm doing underpainting, it really offers this natural fresh glow to the cheeks, and I really like it. So I do feel like this was worth the purchase. We'll see at what point I have to like actually quit using it and actually have to get rid of it because it's gone bad. Maybe then I would change my mind, but as of right now, I think it is worth the purchase. I did miss one foundation. I also purchased the Tarte Shape Tape Cloud Coverage Foundation. I've enjoyed this. It's not my favorite foundation of all time. I don't think I will repurchase this, but I definitely fell into the hype of Kelly Gooch talking about this. I know this is one of her absolute favorites. I think it is really beautiful on the skin, but I just have really found my favorites this year. And I also think as I am getting into not just 30, but getting into my 30s, my skin is changing, and my preferences are absolutely changing for foundation. So I'll definitely finish this up, and in that case I think it was worth purchasing and trying, but I just won't be repurchasing. The bronzers that I purchased last year, all cream, no powders. Okay, so I purchased from Fenty Beauty the cream bronzer, finally, in the shade Butter Biscuit. Love this. So easy to work with, so easy to blend. Definitely think that this was worth the purchase. Fenty Beauty just makes such good products, so that was worth it. From Rose Inc, I also purchased their cream bronzer, and I'll say the same thing that I did about the highlight. As of right now, I think this is worth the purchase, but I definitely do have to warm the product up on my fingers, so we'll see how long until it goes bad. I really should focus on this product next year in a project just to get use out of it. It's a really beautiful cream bronzing product, very easy to work with, very easy to blend. I love the shade. I have mine in the shade Kawaii. I could be pronouncing that wrong. The other thing I will say, in order for me to like twist the product as tightly as I want, it ends up being like mismatched, so that's really annoying, but I do really like the product inside. And then the last bronzer that I purchased last year was from Charlotte Tilbury. It is the Beautiful Skin Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer, and it's one of my favorites in my collection. A really beautiful cream to powder bronzer, so easy to work with. I have mine in the shade to medium, which works really well for me in the spring summertime, and I fell in love with this product. It's one of my favorites in my collection, so definitely worth the purchase in my opinion. Okay, let's talk about face palettes next. I purchased 3 last year, and we all know I'm going to say that this was worth the purchase. It was the NARS Holiday Palette last year. Love this so much. I know you can't get this anymore, so I won't go on and on about it. But I do feel like this was a little bit different than what NARS normally does, because I feel like these shades specifically are ones that we don't typically see. They have more of, this one specifically has more of like a lilac pink cool toned undertone, and I really enjoyed this last year. I couldn't stop reaching for it. Now we have the all Now we have the NARS All That Glitters for this holiday. Can't stop reaching for that. The Natasha Denona My Dream Cheek Trio. I just talked about this in products I would declutter if I could get my money back. Nothing special in my opinion. Definitely like could have spent my $55 elsewhere and would not really miss this product in my collection, so not necessarily worth the purchase there. But another Natasha palette that was worth the purchase was this, which was one of my top 10 favorite beauty purchases of 2022. This is the Natasha Denona Glam Face Palette. You have a cream blush, a really beautiful highlight, and then you have 5 eye shades, which you're not gonna get a lot out of. Like, you're not gonna have a lot of options with what you're doing for your eyes, but I love these because you have your standard everyday neutral warmish leaning brown mattes, 3 of them, and then you have 2 really beautiful lid toppers that can really be sheared out to be very office appropriate, or you can build them up to be more metallic if you are wanting more of like a nighttime super metallic look. So I definitely think this was worth the purchase. There's the side of my face. Hello. And I believe I've seen this go on sale, so like if you can get that on half off, highly worth the purchase. What else? I have some eye products that I purchased. Are these all the eye products? Yes. Stila Glitter and Glow in Kitten Kaleidoscope. Oh, this is Kitten Kaleidoscope. I finished up Wanderlust. I still have about half this product left. It's definitely going to dry out before I finish it. Probably not worth the purchase, especially because I purchased this at full price. If I could purchase it half off, maybe different story. Indie shadows, indie brands really can do such a metallic foiled shade these days. Like, I don't feel like you necessarily need a liquid shadow like that, but I just couldn't resist. Worth the purchase, probably not, but I don't feel too guilty about it. And then I feel like I bought these in like 2020, but I guess in 2022 I purchased the e.l.f. Cookies and Dreams No Budge Shadow Stick in both Sweet Cream as well as Chill Zone. Chill Zone is a really beautiful periwinkle. Sweet Cream is like a white. I have another white jumbo stick for like if I want an inner corner white whatever, so I probably didn't need this, They're also less expensive, so I'm not like super mad about it, but worth the purchase. Have I used these that frequently? Not really, so probably not, but okay. I purchased the Kopari Lip Glossy Set with the like tropical flavors. I think I've used every single one of them. I do still have the pineapple one in my desk at work, but I'm working my way through that. Definitely worth the purchase. You guys know how much I love the Kopari lip glossies. I also purchased this trio last year, which has the lip glossy in Nude Beach, Beach Peachy, as well as just the clear. Even though I haven't gotten my way through these, I still think it's worth the purchase. I've been working my way through other Kopari lip glossies, which I love. They just offer a really beautiful gloss to the lips. They're not going to heal your lips back to health, but like if you have really dry lips, but they're just going to offer a really beautiful, very comfortable glossy glow to the lips. So I love the Kopari lip glossies. Of the 6 that I purchased last year, I have finished 2.5, so I do think worth the purchase. I purchased the Lawless Forget the Filler in the shade Annie. Definitely worth the purchase. We know how much I love Lawless Forget the Filler. I have other Lawless Forget the Fillers I've gone through. Definitely worth it. Ooh, I missed the highlight. I have the Flower Beauty Spotlight Liquid Highlight. Probably didn't need this. I have a lot of other liquid highlights in my collection. I think this is nice, especially if you're looking for a more affordable version of the Natasha Denona highlights. They're very, very similar, but I probably didn't need this if I'm being honest with myself. And then there are 3 concealers that I purchased last year that I haven't yet talked about, and I love all 3 of these. I have the LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage. Personally, for me, this is more medium coverage, but I love this because it's super lightweight underneath the eyes. Will definitely repurchase when I finish that. Although I will say I'm really enjoying the Tower 28 and the Natasha Denona. I also really like the Charlotte Tilbury. From Rose Inc, I have their concealer, which I also think is really beautiful underneath the eyes. More full coverage, but does not feel heavy. And then I repurchased Kosas Revealer Concealer last year. I've used this in the past. It was my favorite concealer. I don't know that I will repurchase now that I've tried the Tower 28. And I think LYS is, you know, just as good. Maybe a little bit less coverage with LYS, but probably won't repurchase the Kosas Revealer Concealer, but I still think it's worth the purchase because I that was a favorite, and I still do really enjoy that concealer. I purchased one eye primer last year. I purchased the Fenty Beauty eye primer. I will eventually get to this. I'm currently going through the NYX Smudge Proof because my sister gave that one to me and it's older in my collection, but that one is almost done and then I will move on to this. I do think it's worth the purchase. I've used this and I think it's a really nice eyeshadow primer. I did purchase the House Labs Cobalt Blue eyeliner. Definitely worth the purchase. Didn't use enough this year, but I do love a cobalt blue liner in the waterline. So yes, worth the purchase. And then the rest of the products are all lip products. So I have the Makeup by Mario lip pencil in the shade Dmitry. I don't reach for lip pencil that frequently, but I do really like this shade. It's a really beautiful, cool nude pink. So I'm gonna say worth the purchase on this. I also purchased the NYX This Is Juice Gloss. Definitely worth the purchase. Really beautiful, really sheer, clear gloss. Very comfortable on the lips, very thin, and lasts a good amount of time at a drugstore cost. Definitely worth it in my opinion. I purchased the Tower 28 Holiday Trio last year. Definitely worth it. I love the Tower 28 glosses. Yes, I haven't gotten through them, but I had other Tower 28 glosses that I finished this year, so now I'm on to these. And I think this is another really beautiful, very sheer, lightweight formula. I will say, I do feel like I go through these really quickly because I am having to reapply quite frequently, but I still love the Tower 28 glosses, so I think that was worth the purchase. I think it was 22 bucks for both shades, so it comes out to $11 each. I think that's worth it. I purchased the Bobbi Brown Oil Infused Gloss. Not worth the purchase in my opinion. Feels cheap. $29 I believe this was. I talked about this in products I would return if I could get my money back. Nothing special. I thought it was going to be a really beautiful sparkly lip oil feeling situation, but it was more just like a sparkly gloss. Nothing special. Nothing worth $29. This one from MAC, definitely worth the purchase. It's the Powder Kiss Liquid Lip Color in the shade Over the Taupe. I have reached for this so frequently. It's a really beautiful lip color. A little bit deeper, but nothing like too bold, nothing too vampy, and really comfortable on the lips because it is that Powder Kiss formula rather than being a super dry matte liquid lipstick. I freaking love this product, so definitely worth the purchase. The Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum in Apricot Glow. I really do like this. I don't know that I would purchase again. I wanted so many shades when I first started trying this last year. But now I'm like, I feel like it's a bit overpriced for what it is. And I would rather, like, I really want to try the YSL Candy Glazes. And I've gotten back into, it was in a project of mine, the Fenty Beauty, whatever this was. What are these? And this shiny lipstick, lip slip, whatever this was in this packaging. If they still make this is a really comfortable kind of shiny lip formula that you can twist up and twist down, whereas the Makeup by Mario you can only twist up. This does have a bit of a minty sensation, which I don't care here or there about, but I want to get Makeup Break again from Fenty Beauty over this, although I will say there are some really beautiful shades in this. I can't promise I'll never purchase this again, but I'm not as into this as I was last year. The Givenchy Rose Perfection Liquid Lip Balm. I have the shade 1, I believe. I was shitting on this product last year, but then I really ended up coming to like this product. I just put a different lip product on my lips, and I'm gonna be that annoying person that layers every lip product on my lips. I think this is really beautiful. Do I think it's overpriced for what it is? Probably, but it feels really luxe. It feels really heavy. It's really beautiful. That has like the marbled kind of finish inside. If you take a lot of Instagram pictures, I think you would really like, I feel like this adds to like the aesthetic. I don't necessarily think I'll purchase this again, but I'm not promising. Was it worth the purchase? I'm not mad about it, so I'm gonna say yes. I'm not mad about it. I didn't need to, but I do enjoy having it in my collection. I've really come to love that product. Okay, I purchased the Kosas lip treatment. I currently have that at my desk at work. Not worth the purchase necessarily, but I'm getting a ton of use out of it now. If I didn't have that in my collection, I wouldn't miss it though, and I feel like it tastes really chemically on the lips. Not something I would repurchase, so I'm gonna go not worth a purchase on that one. I also purchased, I put this in here as a reminder, I think maybe mine fell behind like my bookshelf and I'm too lazy to check, but I did purchase the NARS Lip Crayon in the shade, I think Patina, and I do think that's worth a purchase. It's this really beautiful cool toned pink lip crayon that I think looks stunning on the lips, very easy to use, very easy to apply, and I really enjoy that. So I'm gonna say worth the purchase on that, even though I can't find it right now. And then to wrap it up, I have two products I also feel like are worth the purchase. One of my new favorite lip products in my collection. It's the Milani lipstick in the shade Tease. This for me is very similar to Tarte Rum Punch, which is no longer available. So I think this is my new favorite lipstick in my collection and has been since I purchased this. It's a really beautiful, cool toned, pinky brown, nude sort of shade, and I absolutely love it. You can get it for under 10 bucks at Target. Highly recommend checking it out if you are looking for a shade like that. And then the final product that I purchased last year from Fenty Beauty was the Poutscicle Lip Stain in the shade Strawberry Sangria. I went on to purchase a different shade in this year because I liked this product so much. It's this really beautiful red popsicle-y lip sort of lip stain. It definitely does leave a stain on the lips, and I think it's so pretty for the summertime. Kind of looks like you were outside sipping sangria and your lips are stained from that, which I think is such a pretty look. So I do think this was worth the purchase. Again, I really like Fenty Beauty, but I'm out of breath and my basket is empty. Those are the not 22, all the products that I purchased in 2022, but those are the 52 lip products that I still have in my collection, plus the other 14 plus 8, so 22 products that I've either used up or decluttered from my collection from 2022, and whether or not I feel like they were worth the purchase. I would love to know, do you know how many products you purchased last year? Let me know in the comments below if you do, and let me know some of your favorites or some that you feel like were worth the purchase and maybe some that you feel like weren't worth the purchase. Let a girl know in the comments below. Other than that, thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting me and my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.